Greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers. Tiki here.
And Blue Dragon 5.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we find ourselves on the cusp of Disney's big venture into the world of streaming, even courting a war in the process, we thought it'd be nice to stay up to date on the ever growing catalog and rule on what's a must or a bust on Disney Plus. And tonight we have Logo Day, aka Disney Plus Day. Dragon, I don't know. Does it bother you that the day is just like it's? I don't know. I don't like the name of it. I don't like that it's just like, hey, Disney Plus Day. I don't know. But anyways, so Dragon, I'm not gonna lie. I thought that Disney Plus Day was just kind of okay. I thought that we didn't get a lot of trailers. Donovan Martin is in the comments here, and he says, "Oh, hold on, sorry." He says, "Wonder why they didn't show the Kenobi trailer, a Bad Batch sneak peek, and the Andor first look, and a new main trailer for the Book of Boba Fett." Yeah, indeed. I mean, I feel like if this was to be compared to let's say a Nintendo Direct, Dragon, this would be on the low end, man. We got a few tantalizing little bits. We got a couple nice little announcements. We got a few. I overall, I really loved one of the three spotlighted things we're offering. I really liked one of the three spotlighted things we're offering. The other one, well, we'll get to it. Overall, Dragon, I'm a little underwhelmed. How do you feel about Disney Plus Day as a whole? Just before we get into it.
I mean, look, on the whole, I think they're still kind of new to the whole. I was not expecting the moon. I was just like, okay, so basically we've just timed the new releases to something kind of splashy, and we have a few first looks. I mean, look, if we had, I'll admit, trailers would have been a great deal better and hype worthy for sure. If we had the first looks that we have, little too thin for my taste, little too not. They're barely first looks. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
I will say this though. I will give them credit. I think again, had the offerings been a little bit more full, I think the presentation was pretty good. They started this thing where they kind of have it laid out here's all the Marvel news, here's all the Pixar news. I mean, I think Pete Docter, because we're not really going to be. We didn't learn anything really new about Pixar outside of the fact they're doing a Lightyear and a Turning Red feature-length documentary, which on one hand sounds great, on the other hand confirms a fear that I'm having about the Pixar DVD releases. Luca does not have a comment. Luca is the first Pixar film not to have a commentary track, and this worries me.
Oh, that is a bad precedent to be set.
So that's the thing of we're doing feature-length documentaries, which on one hand, awesome, dream come true. On the other hand, wait, why are we doing feature-length documentaries? so point being, I think Pete Docter kind of had one of the best presentations. But again, the MCU was no slouch in the.
Dragon, one other thing I need to highlight really quick because it's not on our roster. That Willow sneak peek, man.
That was funny.
That was really funny. I really enjoyed it a lot. Warwick Davis, man, he was on fire. I love the way they did that. It was just for those of you who didn't watch it, it's all you needed to know was it's Warwick Davis and a cat who just takes Willow very, very stoically seriously. Warwick Davis in this clip takes the Willow lore as seriously as Hank Hill takes propane. Yep. And then he's just dealing with these young people who may or may not have seen Willow. Tony Revolori, it's his second favorite fantasy movie after Lord of the Rings, and I love how that just makes him the enemy. It's that's worse than not seeing Willow. It's just mentioning Lord of the Rings in his eyes. So yeah, that was very fun. I definitely need to see the original movie. It's something I've never actually watched. So.
Right.
And yeah, Donovan, you're right. Disney Investors Day definitely was on fire. So we'll see what happens with that year, with this year's event. Anyways, Dragon, go ahead.
Yeah, so as I'm saying, I like the presentation. I will admit, I think with the MCU's presentation, I think we leaned too heavy in. Let's show a full scene from Hawkeye. That if you take that out of the equation, I think okay, a little sampling's nice. Just if we had a little more of a full sampling, I don't know, perhaps a full She-Hulk trailer, perhaps. I'm just throwing it out there. But or at least hey, here's let's see her face. Just small things, little things. Anyway,
Yeah, it's like a teaser of a teaser of a teaser.
yeah, so I mean that I wasn't crazy about, but I mean like the sampling. I mean there's some things we're not going to talk about, like the Simpsons short was kind of fun, Yeah, yeah, but yeah, and overall it's just again I think they're still getting their sea legs on how to really kind of like do a Disney Plus day. I remember I got like a shirt from like the first like anniversary thing they had with like Disney Plus like year one essentially. And it had like little
Uh-huh.
Mando and Baby Yoda on. So I mean, they're learning as they go. Again, not as splashy or kind of big as like a Disney Investors Day, but I think it's all new territory.
Is D23 coming up?
I have no idea if they're. I don't know what the schedule is on D23, how that really works.
It might be. It might be.
Like, is
Executive.
it
You
back
might
to
be
being an
right.
annual thing? Is that a thing?
No, it's a biannual thing.
Well, did they have it last year?
I don't think so.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, well, if that's the case, then yeah, it makes sense. Yeah. Be coming
Okay,
up.
well, that's weird that I've been hearing like next to no hype about that. But yeah, if D23 is indeed coming up, we'll definitely have to cover it.
Right.
All right. Anyways.
All right, yeah, so that's about it. Not much, but again, they kind of up in their presentation skills, like the little sections on Disney Plus, and just kind of how they're really kind of promoting things. So I mean, I'll give them that.
All right, so let's get into some of the first look footage.
Okay, so let's start off because we don't necessarily have confirmed dates outside of 2022 on this. The only thing we really have,
That's another thing that would have bothered me. At least give us some concrete dates, man. I think that even would have gone a long way.
Yeah. So the only one we kind of have somewhat confirmed is that Miss Marvel kept getting pushed back. It's been at this point it's been pushed to I believe mid 2022.
Uh-huh.
So that's as far as we got confirmation wise. It's no clue if that's going to be like before or after the other kind of Disney Plus shows start. Anyway, so I guess let's start with I think the most impressive in quotes, She-Hulk. I was impressed that it was there. I would have been more impressed had we seen Oliver. But I tell you, man, She-Hulk is absolutely the MCU show I'm most hyped for because it's about time. We got to do it, and of course a possible big gateway for some Daredevil appearances.
Don't hold your breath, man. Don't hold your breath.
I'm saying Matt Murdock, though, lawyer show.
Look. I'm saying, I'm saying if they're gonna do it, like this is a do or die. If we don't see Matt Murdock in this, we're not going to see Matt Murdock.
Yeah, that exactly. So,
so it's like I don't know. It's very suspenseful in that regard for me. And Donovan, I think I am Moon Knight. I'm very I'm sure our friend Jacob Gulliver is way more tantalized about Moon Knight.
There's a lot of diehards for Moon Knight, Tegan.
But with She-Hulk, I just like that there's an air of familiarity with it, where it's like we both, like you and I, are both pretty familiar with the Jessica Walters character.
Yeah.
And also, we got the Ruffalo in the mix. So I like that it's kind of like another sort of dynamic duo of the MCU in a way.
I mean, here's the cool stuff. So basically what we're going to do with pretty much the news and the stuff that has been, is talk about the news stuff that we didn't know about. So, for example, what we saw in the She-Hulk first look, one, we got a tease of the green visual of like, okay, we're getting the effect. I mean, again, from the kind of the, I guess, the shoulders down looks good.
It does look good. I'll give them credit. It looks really good.
It looks good. Something I really like, though, they put her, and this is a really good solution. I never would have thought of this. I'm really excited.
Jennifer, not Jessica. Thanks, executive. My bad.
Yeah, you said Jessica Walter, like the actress from Arrested Development, didn't you?
Yes, I did. Oh my god.
Anyway, she's in a variation on Hulk's Endgame suit, which I thought was brilliant. Like, oh my god, that makes so much sense because that suit kind of looks like the She-Hulk suit, and it fit to her form better. It's right off the money and has a basis in something we've seen.
Mm-hmm.
So that I thought that was already something really cool. And basically, what we saw is Professor Hulk. We see both Professor Hulk and Ruffalo Hulk, Bruce Banner, which is interesting because we're kind of going. A lot of people are wondering what the heck's happening. We're seeing him as Professor Hulk. We're seeing him as Bruce Banner.
I'm kind of wondering if this is going to take place like within the 5 years.
I mean, it's a good point, Tiki. I never really thought about that because again, we are seeing that suit on her. I mean, he did have that suit in between that 5 year break.
Wait. The big question is, Have we seen his arm? What's his arm look like?
That is a good point because his arm was not in the sling when we saw him in the Smart Hulk.
Okay, well, I honestly think that might confirm it's like it's either multiverse or it's within the 5-year time span.
Well,
Dragon.
also
His
you
arm's
got
not fucked up.
well. The other thing though, Tiki, is we only saw him use one arm though, so the jury's. That's what I'm saying. We don't know 100% though. He could have just like be out of the sling, but he can't use that arm.
Fair enough.
That's the thing, man. But again, it's a very fair point. Like for the astute observer, it's like
I don't know. I'm just saying, like the arm thing to me is like the big tracking timeline thing with Hulk.
Yeah. So it is an excellent point. I did not consider it could have been within the 5 years, which again, given that suit would make sense because you would have built that suit by then. So I mean, either or. So anyway, kind of a pre or post Endgame is absolutely possible there. Let's see. So I think the best thing, and no one's really talking about too much here. The line we have Tatiana Maslany say is, you would like me, don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry. Big 78 Incredible Hulk homage, but not just in the line itself, but the way they took the shot from the opening when David Banner's talking to Jack McGee. They mirrored it exactly. They put Bruce Banner in the denim, just like in the.
I know.
So that excites me. So this speaks to one of two things, Tiki. Okay. So they've kind of hinted that they are going to do the fourth wall breaking She-Hulk for her show. Now I'm thinking that's either some fourth wall humor at play or it's a legal ad for her with her cousin.
Can you imagine if Deadpool popped up?
I mean, Tiki, I'd love that, but it's right now Ryan Reynolds is already kind of keeping us guessing with this whole sabbatical he's taking. So I don't know.
Oh, I didn't even know about that.
Yeah. He's on sabbatical. He's taking a break to be with his family, but the only thing he really has thrown in the pot right now publicly, as everyone's kind of asking about, is Deadpool 3 because he says he's working on the script. So it's a question of he says there's like an announcement coming soon. So we'll see.
All right, fair enough.
Point being, could be a lawyer ad, could be fourth wall humor. Interesting nonetheless. Anyway, so Moon Knight, not a lot there. Just hey, there's Oscar Isaac, and we got a glimpse at the suit from the back, which looks pretty cool. And again, Moon Knight was always like, if they ever did another Netflix hero, Moon Knight was always on the docket. So this is really big. Right. Okay, lastly, not a lot to say here. Ms. Marvel, we got to see Kamala Khan in the makeshift kind of Captain Marvel suit with like the mohawk on it, just kind of the precursor to her suit, which is kind of fun, testing her powers.
Yeah, I think it looks fun. Of course, you and I have a rooted interest in it, and
I didn't see our boy in the trailer. I looked for him. I didn't see him in the.
Yeah, I looked for him too. I was coming for it.
Yep, she has got a friend with her, but ain't
Dragon. I hate to say it, but like I have a feeling that Miss Marvel is ultimately going to turn into finding him.
What?
Like just looking for him, looking for our boy.
I got you. Just looking. Okay, I got you. Just looking for Sagar.
Yeah, looking for Sagar, exactly. Anyways.
Executive asked question. Is that the movie with The Rock on Netflix? Red Notice is the movie with Ryan Reynolds and The Rock on Netflix with Gal Gadot as well. That premiered this week as well. So that was that's a shot before we went on break. That's why everyone's asking, "Hey, what are you doing next?" I'm going to taking a break to be with the kids, that sort of thing.
Uh-huh.
All right, so that brings us to some more Marvel news because everything else is, as Donovan kind of said up front, is like pretty much, hey, concept art of the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, which looks cool. Not a trailer though.
Yeah.
All right.
Phase 5 announcements. So honestly, a couple of these really took me by surprise. I think the big one that the internet's gravitating towards, and Disney Plus, Dragon, is the X-Men show on Disney Plus?
Yeah, it's gonna. On Disney Plus, yeah.
Okay, good. I need to catch up on it before X-Men 97 comes up because honestly, I really love the concept of this.
Yeah. So here's the thing. So there are two shows on here that are not 100. Well, I'll be very shocked if X-Men 97 is in the MCU. I'll say that much. But there are two shows that are not necessarily in the MCU because you have X-Men 97.
X-Men 97, and then I'm guessing the Spider-Man show.
Well, no, not the Spider-Man. The Spider-Man show is in the MCU. The Marvel Zombies, believe it or not, they confirmed that Marvel Zombies will not be the What If continuation. It's going to be something different.
Oh, I really like that. I'm really excited for that. Actually, that's good news.
Now, my assumption, so that's what I'm emphasizing the whole not necessarily because we don't know if that one is or is not going to be in the MCU or just be like it's not going to be a continuation. It's likely
I'd
not
love
going to
for it to
be.
just be a standalone.
That's the thing. It is going to be a standalone. It's the question if it's going to be a standalone, being able to play in the MCU sandbox, or will it be completely everything's on the table because it's just general Marvel
Uh-huh.
and just Marvel Zombies? Which I mean, it's also possible, is given the fact that they announced this X-Men show. I mean, well, it is possible. They're just doing straight up Marvel Zombies, like from the kind of adapting in some form or another, or we're just doing other kind of a different stab at the the what if thing. So it's not like tied into like, oh, what if zombies were rooted from an event from the MCU? What if they just happened in the MCU from like a new divine point? Which I mean, it's possible, but again, I'm thinking they're just going to go completely off brand for it. If I'm a betting man, I think it's going to be just disconnected Marvel
You
Zombies
know
at
what?
this point.
Honestly, I'm totally fine with that because I feel like a lot of people's main complaint with the original Marvel Zombies was that it stuck too on brand to the MCU. So I feel like going in the opposite direction could potentially bear some fruits with the concept.
I mean, honestly, I'm on board for either or because I mean, you know me, I already got a taste of what I loved with the Marvel Zombies in playing with the MCU, which I already got that, and there's probably going to be at least the second part of that in season 2, so I'll be satiated there. And if they go the other way, like, hey, Marvel Zombies, pretty cool.
Yeah.
So it's a
All right.
win-win for me.
So let's see. Donovan says the Spider-Man trailer is this week. Is that true, Dragon?
This coming Tuesday is the rumor. Yes.
Oh boy. Okay. Well, the internet is gonna go crazy for that, so we'll see how that goes.
Okay, so real quick, this isn't on our docket because we only have a title on this one. I just want to shout out. So Agatha, House of Harkness.
I'm excited for that title. That title intrigues me.
I mean, the fact that we call it House of Harkness indicates to me she's stuck
Uh-huh.
in that house in suburbia,
A
right?
haunted house show, Dragon. A haunted house show.
I don't know. We have to see how she, if there's a storyteller, it'd be like how she, kind of retrofit her basement into that spooky kind of witch's coven, right? So there's a haunted house story there.
All right. Aid March says, still no justice for Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. He needs his own show. Yeah, and Aid March, I gotta say, I agree. Oswald is definitely like untapped. Like, he is honestly like more untapped potential with Disney than the Muppets, which it's like that's saying something, man.
I mean, they did give him his own game, didn't they, with Epic Mickey?
Epic Mickey was like in the early 2010s, and that's the last time they've done anything with him.
Yeah, well, that's a fair point, but I think again it goes to the show that he's ripe with story potential. They could do stuff with Oswald. All right, so let's see. We have
and then Executive makes the point that we don't even know when Phase 5 will even come out. Phase 4 has barely begun, and I need to fix the image. That's annoying. What do we have going on now, Dragon?
All right, next? so yeah, that's the thing. So we have so real quick. So Spider-Man freshman year. So this. I wish they came out with like a little bit more of a concrete detail in this because there's this fear. I really it'd be like the dumbest decision ever if they went with basically what it seems on surface value, which is like the title comes up Spider-Man freshman year. It'll be the MCU Peter Parker's freshman year in high school, so it'll be like before Homecoming and probably it'll be before Homecoming and Civil War actually. So that's where it's set. Now, the hope I have is that some people just said, looking at it, like we reveal the logo and there's Peter Parker with the glasses. It can't possibly be just Peter Parker before he even becomes Spider-Man. That'd be a waste of everyone's time, right?
I mean, I feel like they're gonna do like the Peter Parker origin story again, which like on the plus side, we're finally gonna get MCU Uncle Ben.
I know, right? So that's to me. I'm just saying, like,
on the negative side, though, do we really need a full blown series for the origin story? Like, could this be like a flashback?
But this is what I'm saying, though, Tiki. If you would, assuming it's just very simply as it should be, okay, it's the Spider-Man origin. We're just telling you an animation as somewhat of a supplemental thing. Like, so we can get out of the way in case anyone's wondering, like, hey, what was the origin like? Well, there you go. It's a little mini series. It's a little one season job.
Honestly,
like,
the fact that it's animated kind of makes your Hank Azaria casting a little bit more likely.
I know. That's what I'm saying. So I'm on board with this thing, assuming it's just very simple. assuming they're not just going to contrive some BS thing of like it's all Peter Parker before we're going to end it with him being bitten by the spider. Like they don't.
Oh,
They
that
do
would be ridiculous if it was like some Smallville Hooey.
Yeah, if they did that, then I'm just going to call it our BS. But again, I think just taking the title Spider-Man freshman year, they got to be telling you the story. Which I mean, again, it is like it's filling like a blind spot we have in the MCU Spider-Man. People have been talking about other people who just can't get off. Like we need to see the origin trainer and would satiate everyone's Uncle Ben needs. I think just as a mini series, it could do a lot of good. I think it would help fill a blank that people kind of want the blank filled on. So I could like it. Plus, it gives us more Tom Holland Spider-Man without the worry that it's going to grow out of the role or anything, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
And also Echo. So Echo's been confirmed, live action series. This is the assumedly the antagonist in the Hawkeye series. She'll be getting a spin-off, and a lot of people hopeful backdoor Daredevil season 4. That's what the rumors on the street are. But again, I won't believe anything until I see something.
Right, and I think that's it.
Yeah, that's it. So let's transition to kind of the main offerings, as it were.
Yeah, the spotlighted offerings.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Dragon, let's just get the one out of the way just to rip off the Band-Aid. I don't know how you feel about them. I really hated the Olaf ones.
Really? You didn't like any of them?
I mean, Dragon, I'll say this much. I feel like in every one, I kind of got like a mild, like, about once or twice per segment. And that's about it. I sat there stone-faced pretty much. I mean, look, it's like, I'm not going to say that it felt like a waste of time just because there's only 4 of them. Like, it was very much, you know that term I use, candy bar for the brain? Well, this is like an off-brand candy bar for the brain, Dragon. This is like this is not a Hershey bar, Dragon.
This is a thingamajig instead of a what you
Exactly. I don't know. It's like, like I said, I chuckled to myself a couple times. Like, I think the biggest laugh I got was the Lion King, like, Simba. Oh, I understand now.
So, okay, so first of all, I do really like the idea that, hey, we're condensing 90-minute films into 90 seconds. And basically,
why can't we just have this same show, except it's oh God, I'm sorry, I'm blanking on the character name from Ant-Man.
Louise.
Yeah, Louise, I'm sorry. Except it's just Louise just recapping MCU movies, Dragon. I feel like the same show, but with Louise would be 100 times better.
Oh, of course. We can't all be Michael Pena, Tiki. We can't make a magical snowman into Michael Pena.
I'm just saying this magical snowman bit rips off Michael Pena wholesale.
But also, Tiki, you gotta think about this though, Tiki. The best scene in Frozen 2 was this premise. And
I disagree.
Wait, really?
I inherently disagree. I like we talked about this when we did the Frozen 2 recap. I don't like this scene. I don't know. I really don't. I just think it's just kind of like, hey, remember that bit from Ant-Man? Well, here it is.
That was a good bit though.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, well, let me see. So I like how we repurpose some gags, and they're like, hey, okay, so Olaf, the impalement. I've been impaled applied to Ursula's fate in The Little Mermaid. It's kind of funny.
Look, I think from an animation point of view, the way that he uses, his body to tell some of this, like, that's fun. That's fun to watch. I don't know. It's not for me, Dragon. Here's the thing. It's not for me, but I also feel like this isn't even effective as just something to put on for the kids just because it's so short and insubstantial. It's like, why does this even exist? It's like, if there was like 20 of these, then I'd be a little bit more like, all right, some of them are big hits, like we have a big selection, but there's so few of them that it just, like, I just feel like, why did we even really bother with this?
Well, I mean, there were a number of jokes that didn't quite hit me. For example, the Smolder gag. I think they cheaped out on Tangled big time, given the fact like we hyped up like, hey, we know those guys, and all you're doing is like you just keep doing this Flynn Rider Smolder gag. Where he doesn't even really do that throughout the movie, like he's the Rock or something. And I mean, I'll admit though, there's one big moment from these 5 shorts that did really get me though. in Aladdin, we use marshmallows, the Cave of Wonders, which looks just like that effect. And I thought
Yeah,
that was really
yeah.
cool. So that was cool. We kind of call it like we called out certain things like the oh god, like in Moana we call out the whole magic heart thing, but we also like why do we have to draw emphasis to the dumb peeing in the ocean joke from from Moana? Like really,
Mhm.
I don't know. So again, maybe some were hit and miss, sure.
Okay, but Ciao Alberto, on the other hand, Dragon, this was lovely.
I know, right? It was so good.
It was like a warm blanket of a Luca epilogue, man.
Yeah, so essentially, with the epilogue, what they're kind of doing is it's Alberto's side of the Luca credits, where we saw like, okay, this is them just, that I go gaga for the credits on Luca because I just love like the art style and also the music choice is great. And you get to see, okay, this is what they're doing in kind of the epilogue, and we get to see Alberto getting from point A to point B of being Massimo's employee.
So, what I love about this short is that I feel like the first half of it, it's almost framed as a thriller because it's just like he just keeps messing up, and it's just like, oh god, like you know what I mean? Like there's a couple premises where I'm just like, oh god, Alberto, what are you doing? Oh no,
Yep, but very much like don't go in the cabin. That's
Right,
all.
exactly,
Like
exactly.
don't leave
And
the
of course,
barrel of
Massimo
fish.
Dragon, you and I both agree. I mean, he totally
Yeah.
stole that whole movie.
So again, this was a big treat for us because we love Massimo, and also makes sense that it also makes sense that we would give Alberto the limelight, given the last movie. The movie was called Luca, so let's spend some time with Alberto, and also Alberto had some great story stuff with the fact that he had big issues of feeling inadequate thanks to his father, and we get to explore that via what we set
Of
up with
course,
the
yeah.
kind of set up in the background, Luca, the mentor and father figure in Massimo, and we get to fully lean into that here, and that was a really good idea.
Yeah, so just all around, and then I mean, the animation. I love the Luca style. It might honestly be like, it's not like the most creative world building that Pixar's ever done, but I think just stylistically, it might be one of my favorite Pixar worlds.
It's very Miyazaki-esque.
Oh yeah, very much so.
So I think the big thing to talk about with Ciao Alberto is so again, it's just overall it's like okay, it's some fun, like, oh Alberto's screwing things up, shenanigans, but it builds to this excellent, just real moment with these characters, and it's just so perfectly executed. Just Alberto accidentally setting the boat on fire, and we kind of set up that Massimo he's an old school kind of guy. He's really kind of tight with the feelings, and can't really express himself, kind of verbally. He's not a verbose kind of guy. So just this moment where he calls out Massimo's strict and his reserved demeanor and in the upbringing and everything, he just slips with "Let me go, Dad," and just that recognition in
Dragon,
Massimo.
that's a Pixar moment right there. That's
I
a
know.
canon in Pixar moment. You know what I mean?
And Tiki, just the honesty in that moment. One with the reactions, Massimo's eyes, and then Tiki. The writing on this short was so beautiful. And one anecdote, they broke your
This
heart, didn't they?
honestly might be one of my favorite like Pixar shorts based on a pre-existing movie. It's honestly up there for me as far as those shorts go.
Sure, sure. And just like that moment of like I once made my father so angry he punched a hole in a brick wall. And then the Tiki, oh god, just those three. Well, what happened next?
We
We
fixed
fixed
it.
it. Just that's great
It's
writing.
beautiful. It's fucking
It's
beautiful,
so
man.
great. And oh my god, the thing is like in one line of dialogue, one anecdote
Yeah,
just sums up
yeah.
this character's trouble verbalizing things, and the two of them in repairing the boat, they repair their relationship.
Oh my
This is
god.
gold.
All
This is
right.
why
So I'm
Pixar
glad
is
you and I are on
Pixar,
the same
man.
page about this.
What?
I said I'm glad you and I are on the same page about
Yes,
this
we're on
one.
the same. How would
Yeah.
we not be on the same
All
page
right.
on this? Oh, did you hear? I read somewhere because of this. I read somewhere there was like an idea for a Luca sequel.
I mean, I'd be down, man. I really think Luca is like kind of like it's like one of the underdogs of the Pixar catalog.
Well, you want to know what the sequel pitch is? Now, it's not a
What is the
serious
pitch?
commit. This is not a serious commitment, but what they've kind of floated out there is basically the Parent Trap with Massimo and his wife.
Oh my god, yes, yes, give it to me. Give it to me
So
now.
you'd
Oh
have
my
Luca
god,
and
take my
Alberto
money.
working with Juliet to repair the relationship because Luke is with
Uh-huh.
the mother and everything. Yeah,
That sounds amazing. All right.
yeah. All right. So
ZK channel is in the comments. He says, I'd say Miyazaki with a touch of Aardman. And
yeah,
it's like kind of like the Miyazaki world with the Aardman character designs. That's a good way to put it.
it's about right. Yeah, it's kind of a melding of styles there. Yeah.
All right. And then finally, Dragon, we have the Boba Fett documentary.
Yeah, Under the Helmet. So I thought this was a great deep dive on the history of Boba Fett in 22 minutes. I was impressed by. I think we got a lot in 22 minutes.
The only complaint I have about it is that it very obviously just turned into like, hey kids, watch Boba Fett premiering in Disney Plus in 2022.
See, I will admit the thing that bothers me about it is the fact that we end rather abruptly because we don't want to spoil the show.
But it's like, at the very least, they could have shown us some cool new footage, but they didn't. Of course, they didn't.
Or at the very least, you
Disney Plus Day, and they don't show new footage.
Let's just, at the very least, guys, don't even show me anything. Just dig into like the origins and the genesis of like, hey, here's why we're doing the show. Like things went over,
or maybe a release date. I don't know.
Well, Tiki, we know when it's coming out.
Oh, we have a full release date.
Yes, it's.
That's good. Okay,
I think it's like it's out of the 30th or 28th. It's like towards the very end of December.
Oh, nice. I didn't know.
We've been over this.
Cool. All right. Anyways, but what really geeked me out about this, Dragon, was just really doing that deep dive into my favorite part of the character's history, which is the fact that he really does predate Empire Strikes Back. And I love this because it's like, not only do we get the obvious roots with the holiday special, but we go back even further than that. We see, I think the biggest geek out moment for me, Dragon, was the moment where Boba Fett is paraded around in front of a crowd for the first time.
There were moments in this thing that blew my mind. For example, the big feather in the cap, obviously the Marin County parade, which is like everyone thinks they know where Boba Fett comes from with the holiday special. That's true, but he debuted in living in flesh and blood, one other place with that parade.
That was amazing to me.
It's a beautiful little
was
wrinkle.
Absolutely like a mind-blowing moment.
I mean,
also,
for me though,
I just got to brag. Rancho Obi-Wan is in Petaluma, California, my hometown.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, here's the thing. I knew about that guy who's collected all this stuff. I know it was like, I forgot where he was, but I knew like this is like a guy with like comic book men, they visited once or something. There was one time where they went to this guy, some star.
Dragon, when I saw him, I got really excited because I was like, oh my god, I have 2 days off. I could go there and do a fucking vlog on it and tie it right into the Disney Plus Day thing. And then I was like, oh, it's been closed since COVID.
Wait, really? Oh
yeah.
Man. Dang it.
And it's not, and he's not, like all the website says is that we're, we the safety of our guests, yada yada. So I don't know what's going on with that.
Well, it's a shame because I've seen like some walkthroughs. I think it was a Star Wars.
I'm honestly wondering if I could contact him and get like a private tour. I don't know.
I mean, you can only ask.
Yeah.
Worst you can say is no, right?
Yeah, right.
But yeah, so I mean, even before that, just tying into that, I forgot that I remember like the original Boba Fett suit when the prototype was all white, but I forgot I'd never considered like there was a reason it's all white. It was a stormtrooper outfit. I did not know that. I thought that's, oh my god, he was like originally like a new model of stormtrooper that just kind of then evolved into the Clint Eastwood of Star Wars bounty hunters. Also, we got to see a much more well-adjusted child star from Star Wars with Daniel Logan.
Oh my god, yes, that was very refreshing, honestly.
Yeah. Also paid lovely tribute to Jeremy Bulloch, and even the new Captain America loves Jeremy Bulloch. You saw him geeking out over that helmet.
Yeah. And I love the story of the Jango Fett. Like him, him looking up like, here's this 4-year-old kid looking up at me, and I'm just smiling and. So yeah, overall, I thought it was a nice. Like I said, it turns into a little bit of a puff piece for for the Boba Fett series, which I think would have been fine if we got some more substantial footage out of that. But I digress.
Also, again, we got some fresh George Lucas footage too. So
that is always nice. That is always nice.
I think I'm going to make the leap that Dave Filoni being in charge of things is really has really kind of mended fences with George Lucas amidst the whole Disney thing. I think he's been like coming to the fold in the series because he's been having a really
God,
good time with
at
them.
this point, they really should just put Filoni in charge of Lucasfilm, like officially.
Well, I know they gave him some promotion. I assume it essentially means he's in charge. I forget if
Uh-huh.
what the deal with Kathleen Kennedy is, but the point being, Filoni, he's pretty much calling the shots now. I think that's going to go
Maybe
on a long
Filoni's
way.
like the head of creative.
Yeah, it was something like that. I forget what it's a bunch
Uh-huh.
of letters, folks. I'm sorry, I can't remember exactly what the what the title was. I think it's Korea. I think you're close.
All
All
right.
right. All right, so I mean, again, that's pretty much like all the stuff that really jumped out of us, in terms of the coverage. Again, I saw a few things on the side. I have not finished the Goldblum episodes or or that, but I watched Jungle Cruise.
Nice.
Yeah.
Dragon, I wish I had time to rewatch things I've already watched in my life right now.
Oh, here's a question. What do you think about this IMAX business?
What IMAX business? Tell me about it because I've heard about it, but I don't know the details.
Yeah, well, just I mean, simply they've transferred a lot of the MCU films into IMAX and to varying degrees of success, apparently. For example, Endgame, you get to see more characters in the frame. Like apparently, Cap and
I mean,
Thor
would this
were.
work on my cheap laptop?
Well, I mean, assumedly, yes. It's basically on Disney Plus. They've made like I guess they've shrunk and or biggened the screen so you can see what the IMAX looks like
Huh,
from
okay.
home.
That's
I
interesting.
think I assume that's how it works. I haven't looked into it myself personally because I've been waiting to rewatch Shang-Chi. They've done
Yeah.
it to a number of movies. I don't know if they've done it to everything yet, but I mean, for example, Scott Derrickson said, "Hey, I did not make Doctor Strange to be in IMAX." So some of the filmmakers are kind of sweating, like, "Oh God, all the
I can
fine
see that.
details
Yeah,
now."
yeah.
But again, like, "Hey, Cap was in that scene and no one told me. What gives?"
Oh my god. Right.
Anyway, all right,
Okay,
okay.
yeah,
So
I think that's about it.
executive verifies it works on all devices. Yeah,
Yeah, all right. So we had a pretty popping grad tonight, folks. I'm very happy to see that. I really appreciate it. So we have
oh,
executive. Oh, I'm sorry. Z and K asks.
did you talk about the Simpsons plus anniversary? Tiki, did you watch this? Because I did.
I did not.
I think you'd like it. They basically it's the Simpsons characters kind of crossing over with all the Disney Plus properties. I mean all of them pretty much. I can't remember if there are any Muppets in there, but pretty much everything.
I've never I just don't like to engage with Simpsons Disney media. It just feels kind of gross to me that
It
it's
it
just like
it does feel kind of weird. I won't lie to you because there was a bit in there that I and you can tell because they didn't get Bill Farmer to do the voice. They didn't get any of the.
uh-huh.
They didn't get any. It's kind of weird how this works, Tiki. They didn't get any of the official talent to play their characters, which I think is probably Disney sending a message of like, okay, you can play in the sandbox, but we're not going to give you the A toys. All right, you can't. You have like Homer and Goofy are sharing beers together at the bar, and you don't have Bill Farmer doing the voice of Goofy. I don't know if that's protective or what, but
Oh, I don't like that. You see, that's exactly why I don't. Anyways, I just don't like the fact that the Simpsons are still like it's just like they're just parading around a dead corpse at this point with the Simpsons.
right. I'll admit some of their other stuff. I mean, I saw like their Loki short was pretty fun though. I recommend you see that one. That one's kind of harmless. It's like, hey, it's Loki, and they got Tom Hiddleston back for that one. It's
I'm
kind of
pretty sure I did watch that, and yeah,
yeah,
that was fine.
that's
Harmless is
cute.
the word I'd use.
Exactly. It's just that one's more
Put
like a
that on the
harmless.
put that on a poster. Harmless Blue Dragon 5. Anyway.
Oh god. As UK says, if we're longer, it might have been better. I don't think it would have really made much of a difference, but yeah.
All right.
Okay, yeah, I think that does it. So again, thanks to executive Z and K channel, that guy, and Donovan Martin.
Indeed. Yeah, you guys all rock. Thanks so much for being here. And oh god, I don't have the outro pulled up. I'm
Yeah,
blind. Oh, it's such a simple outro too. God damn it, it's been a while, Dragon. Can you do it?
really.
Yes.
That'll do it for us this week as we holster our remotes till the next installment calls for the draw Mano y Mano, just Plus and Us.
And of course, the image goes out. Good night, everybody.
Nine.